Okay, so here we have our early adopters, and they're already in this hub that we've created. Um, they've all gone through our marketing system. So for these people, they've all accepted the change that we have to offer. So the change that we want people, or not the change we have to offer, but the change we hope that people choose. And so that change becomes the norm among these group of people. And think back to the culture loop. We have norms create a culture, which is why do you do it? It's because of our culture. It creates the culture, which creates the behavior. So when someone new comes and they see this new group and the culture is to behave like it, then they are more likely to create a meaning back to our system that supports that decision or decides that, hey, this is the right behavior to take. So they become indoctrinated into this new culture that we are growing through the network effect. So, how do we manage, how do we guide this culture? One thing to keep in mind is that we don't really, it's not our culture to own. It's not us. It's a group of people who allow us to basically lead. So we can't go in and say, hey, this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to do, and etc. These are a group of people who have given us permission to be the leader. And this comes back to leadership in all principles. Like marketing, it comes in a full circle. It starts with leadership and it ends with leadership. So, how do we get this group of people to go where we want them to go? How do we lead this group of people? Well, first thing we need to understand is we have to first deal with cohesion. We have to get everyone in this group very tightly bound together. If everyone is dispersed, if a flock of sheep is dispersed, you can't guide them anywhere. First, you have to get them in one group. And the way we do that is through artifacts, rituals, and a shared language. So, artifacts are those things that make it real. So, I have this, therefore, I am part of a group. I recently got a lapel pin from the Korean Dental Association of USC. That is an artifact for them. So the members of that organization get a lapel where it signifies that, hey, you are now an indoctrinated member of this community, of this culture. Um, Same thing for like fraternities when they have this, or like they have rituals. You have hazing, you have crossing, and all this stuff. That's their ritual for a culture. And then same thing with the shared language. If you think of any community, let's use the fraternity example again. They will have their own shared language. They will have a different way of speaking than the people who are outsiders. And these three things create cohesion. And also, these three things are not something that we are out there saying, hey, this is going to be how we do artifacts. This is how we're going to be doing rituals. This is how we're going to be doing shared language. As a leader, our job is to just observe and see what artifacts, what rituals, and what shared language arises, or what the community starts to push to the surface. And that process is called emergence. We let emergence happen, and we let the artifacts, rituals, and shared language emerge. And our job is to just support it. We give it validity. We start adopting the artifacts that we believe. We start backing the correct. We start backing the artifacts that we like, the rituals and the shared languages that we like. Of course, like again, it's not all up to us. We can't just have a veto power and say it. But in this culture, we do carry a lot of weight. Um, so that is how we create cohesion. And how do we create now movement? So it's the same thing. What we do to an individual, we now do to the group. A culture is just a big individual. It's shared beliefs, right? Remember, we started marketing with a belief system profile. Now this culture it's everyone with the shared beliefs. It's in one group. It's shared meaning, beliefs, meanings, feelings. Like it's shared. So the way we create change in the group is the same as the way we create a change in the individual. It starts with generating feelings through meaning, and then creating tension, showing where we could go, creating a change for them, and then saying, hey, this is the promise I make if you take this change. So we're constantly like challenging them to go to better and better places, to make better and better changes. And that's how you keep a culture alive. And that's how the best companies and culture creators do it. Any culture that is unattended to, that is neglected, has a half-life. They will eventually die off. The early adopters in your group, they will get bored. They will wonder, there is no leadership, there's nothing happening here, and they will go off and find a better culture, a better fit for them. So the same things that drew them to you are the same things that will break apart the culture if you aren't proactive about making sure there is continuous change for the betterment of that culture.